Good afternoon. My name is Lori Adams, and I'm the president of the Engineering Alumni. Welcome to the 2015 State of the College Address. Today we are also celebrating the 20th anniversary of Nitschke Hall. We are happy to have some of the Nitschke family with us in attendance, and I'm sure they're proud of the evolution of our engineering campus. My college career ended before Nitschke Hall was built, so I didn't get to attend classes in here, but I've spent an awful lot of time in this building over the last 10 plus years in various capacities. And I see the pride of the students and the alumni and the community. International to local companies have come together in the Corporate Partners Program to inspire and develop students. This is critical to the success of our graduates and our rocket engineering legacy. I am proud to be a rocket engineer, and I look forward to the next 20 years. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our next speaker, John Barrett, Interim Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. John A. Barrett began his tenure as Interim Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs July 1st, 2014. As Chief Academic Officer, Provost Barrett oversees UT's academic affairs, colleges and units on all campuses, as well as the Division of Student Affairs, Enrollment Management, Libraries, Experiential Learning, International Programs, and Distance Learning. Beginning in January 2013, Provost Barrett served as Vice Provost for Faculty Relations and Accreditation, Assessment, and Program Review. An Associate Professor in the College of Law, Provost Barrett has expertise in international business and trade law, corporations and business associations, sales tax, and property. He joined the UT College of Law faculty in 1994. And in 2009, he served as the president of the Faculty Senate. After receiving his bachelor's degree from Amherst College, Provost Barrett earned his Juris Doctorate from Harvard University. I'd like to invite Interim Provost John Barrett to the podium.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Deans, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and other guests, welcome to the College of Engineering's State of the College Address. It's my pleasure today, and my privilege, to introduce a man who, quite frankly, needs no introduction. It's a man whose name's been turned into a chant amongst our students, actually. Dr. Nagi Naganathan. Dr. Nagi, as he is popularly called, came to UT in 1986 as a faculty member in MIME, Mechanical, Industrial, and Manufacturing Engineering. He served as the founding chair of the MIME department between 1995 and 2000. In November of 2000, he served as the interim dean of the College of Engineering, and not having learned his lesson, in May of 2003, he was appointed dean. During his administration, Nagi has overseen the establishment of many new programs and major facilities. For example, he was responsible for founding the Engineering Leadership Institute and presided over the construction of the Nitschke Complex and the Brady Engineering Innovation Center. He has also successfully overseen multiple accreditation visits for academic programs, secured approvals for a new Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology, and established the first joint research center across the colleges of engineering and medicine in orthopedics. Under Dr. Nagi's leadership, the College of Engineering has continued to elevate its nationally ranked mandatory co-op program, which has placed more than 14,000 students with more than 1,500 employers. During Nagi's tenure, the college has gained further national recognition. In October of 2006, for the first time, UT's engineering graduate program was listed among the top 20 graduate programs in the country by Princeton Review. And U.S. News & Report ranked the UT Engineering Practice-Oriented Master's Program among the top 50 in the nation. In the research arena, Dr. Nagi has demonstrated his expertise in the areas of smart material systems and structures, robotics, and microcomputer applications in electromechanical systems. Sponsors of his research include the National Science Foundation and automotive manufacturers, and he has secured more than $4 million in grants in support of his research. He's also the author of more than 100 publications, and needless to say, he's won a lot of awards, including being an ASME Fellow, UT's Outstanding Teacher Award, UT's Outstanding Researcher Award, and the Distinguished Alumnus Award from his alma mater, to name but a few. He has also been awarded a U.S. patent on the use of piezoelectric devices in active suspension systems. I have no idea what that is. In addition to being a tenured mine professor and the college's dean, Dr. Nagi also serves as co-director of the Dynamic and Smart Systems Research Laboratory at the University of Toledo. He currently serves on multiple boards, including for the Ohio Aerospace Institute, and has been a consultant for companies such as Dana Corporation, Eaton Corporation, and Teledyne. As you know, during the recent search for UT's 17th president, Dr. Nagi served as the university's interim president beginning last summer, which was when I began my tenure as interim provost. So last year he was my boss, this year I get to be his. Although we've known each other for several years as professional colleagues, it was during this time that I really got to know Nagi much better. I quickly grew to respect not only his leadership style and loyalty to the people at UT, but his longstanding dedication to the college, his research, and his students. Most importantly, he became my friend. So without further delay, it's my privilege to welcome Dr. Nagi Naganathan to the stage for the keynote address. So let's act like a student, give him a little chant. Nagi, 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 Nagi.
Good afternoon. Let me begin by thanking Lori Adams and the members of the Engineering Alumni Affiliate for hosting this event. Provost Barrett, thank you for your kind introduction. The chant I did not expect. Mr. Nitschke and members of the Nitschke family are here. Thank you for your participation. It is always a pleasure to host you in this auditorium. I am honored to have current and former members of the University Board of Trustees in attendance, Dr. Amjad Hussain, Mr. Bill Kester, Mr. Jim Tushman, and Mr. Hernan Vasquez. Thank you for being here. I want to recognize members of the Toledo City Council who are with us, Dr. Cecilia Adams, Ms. Teresa Gabriel, Mr. Tyrone Riley, and Mr. Larry Sykes. I welcome Mr. Bob Reinbold, Chief of Staff to the Mayor of Toledo. Thank you all for your constant support and encouragement. To the many friends of the college from the university and outside, I greatly appreciate your presence and participation. The college and I are deeply grateful for your continued support. I want to give a special thanks to University Archivist Professor Barbara Floyd for her assistance in providing many historical images for this presentation. I also want to thank my colleagues, Sandy Stewart and Associate Deans LeBlanc and Randolph, for their special efforts in researching historic facts and visuals. Like Provost Barrett said, a lot went into preparing this presentation. Finally, our students, faculty, and staff, I thank you for being here today. No celebration is complete without your immediate family sharing it with you. Thank you for your presence. Today's address is not only a report on the state of the college, it is also a celebration of the significant milestone for the building that we consider our home, but more about that in a moment. While preparing for this address, we once again had the unenviable task of having to select a very small percentage of the many fine things our students and my colleagues are doing. This truly has been a very dynamic year, full of changes and accomplishments. However, it is sometimes easier to appreciate the distance you have come by reflecting on where you began, which brings me back to the special milestone. 20 years ago this semester, the College of Engineering moved into a newly completed building on this site. The new building, originally known as East Engineering, joined North and South Engineering buildings, which were formerly the Owens, Illinois Technical Center. East Engineering was dedicated as Nitschke Hall in October 1995 in honor of the special friendship and support of Mr. Norm Nitschke and his family. Today, we have not only a vibrant Nitschke Hall, we have a thriving engineering complex which bustles with people, programs, and projects, a thematic continuum of education, research, and commercialization. As I describe the present state of our college, I will be sharing with you some historic milestones which provided the inspiration for our current success and create the framework for our future aspirations. During this presentation, we will traverse a century. I will be sharing the historic milestones, not always in a chronological order, but as appropriate when I discuss the state of the college today. We will also be sharing our future goals and aspirations. You will see a UT rocket symbol at the bottom right-hand corner when we share some of our aspirations for the next 20 years in Nitschke Hall. As President Gaber launches the strategic planning initiative for the university, we will incorporate our aspirations into a college plan aligned with the university's goals. Let me first take you back to the 1930s when the engineering programs were first offered in the new University Hall. The first dean was Dallas Palmer, Palmer Hall's namesake. The president at that time, Dr. Nash, was also an engineer. Tuition and fees were $41 per semester and $75 per semester for non-residents. The cost to live in the dorms was $2.50 per week. Let's move a decade forward to the 40s when John Brandenberry was the Dean of Engineering. For civilians, UT was one of 200 colleges to offer engineering, science, and management war training program classes. The engineering enrollment fell significantly after we entered World War II. From that low of 221 engineering students in 1941, I am pleased to report that our college undergraduate enrollment is now at an all-time high following a decade of continuous growth. I'm excited to report that for a fifth year in a row, our undergraduate enrollment has set another new record in the history of our college at 3,474 students, a 5.9% increase over last fall. Together with a robust graduate program, our college has set a combined total enrollment record for a fourth year in a row, a 4.5% increase in overall enrollment. And we continue to attract students from all corners of the world. Our growth in enrollment is not at the expense of quality. Our student quality continues to impress, whether we measure in terms of valedictorians, class rank, high school GPA, participation in the Honors College, or standardized test scores. As an example, the average ACT scores of our engineering freshmen are in percentiles comparable to some of the best programs in the nation. I am pleased to report the enrollment of our engineering full-time freshmen has increased by 100%, if not more, since we as a college took primary ownership of recruitment. These students come to us from all corners of Ohio and the world. Not only are we successful in attracting these bright students to come here, engineering continues to lead the university in retaining and graduating them as well. A crucial measure of whether these students will ultimately be successful is the first to second year retention rate. When Nitschke Hall was being constructed in the early 90s, retention rates hovered around 50%. We are proud that today we consistently achieve results around 85%. You might have seen prominently displayed in the Nitschke complex the motto, "We recruit a graduating class, not a freshman class." Beyond the required element of graduating competent engineers, all of our efforts have a single purpose, that is instilling a mindset of success in our graduates. We recently spoke to a distinguished 1952 graduate of our college, Mr. Marian Antonini. He had senior leadership roles in many reputed companies such as AMC Jeep, Xerox, and others. Let's listen to Mr. Antonini describe what the College of Engineering means to him.
I attended the University of Toledo between the years of 1948 and 1952. My major was mechanical engineering. I had an industrial option. Very good decision, yes. I'll do it again. I'd pick engineering. I'd pick the University of Toledo. And I would stay with the subjects that I enjoyed most. I never want to look back and say, I should have been a doctor or a lawyer. I'm glad I was an engineer. And I mixed it in with business, and it worked out well. That's why I have great respect for the University of Toledo. I think they've done a lot of good for a lot of people. I've often said that I would trade places with anyone from Harvard, Yale, or Princeton. And I think I could do the job better than they do. I work harder. Perhaps that's my ace.
As you just heard, Mr. Antonini credits his UT engineering education as his ace in the hole. We want every one of our graduates to feel the same way. We are committed to making a difference in their lives through experiences and initiatives inside and outside the classroom. We have surrounded our students with an ecosystem of opportunities. The breadth and depth of programs that are available to our students make our college unique as we continually refresh our ecosystem with new opportunities. 3 new programs will be added to our curricular offerings starting this year. An undergraduate degree in environmental engineering, a new practice-oriented master's focused on energy engineering, and a green chemistry and engineering program in partnership with our colleagues in the sciences. The undergraduate degree in environmental engineering is in response to the growing interest among our students and employers. The Environmental Engineering Task Force, with membership from our industrial partners and faculty, was led by one of our distinguished alumni, Mr. Peter Hess of San Francisco. Peter served as a Deputy Air Pollution Control Officer of the Bay Area Air Quality Management District and as the President of the Air and Waste Management Association. Likewise, the Energy Engineering Task Force was led by Mr. Gary Leidick, who was until recently a senior executive with First Energy. Gary is also now serving as the chairman of the UT Foundation Board. I want to thank our industrial partners for their engagement and interest in shaping this curricula for our students so we can graduate career-ready professionals for practice. Green Chemistry and Engineering, a new interdisciplinary professional science master's program, is now available to our students. The program is the result of a joint effort between the departments of chemical engineering and chemistry in collaboration with business and other colleges. I want to thank Dean Karen Bjorkman of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Dr. Mark Mason of the Department of Chemistry, and Dr. Glenn Lipscomb, Professor and Chairman of Chemical Engineering, for their special efforts in making this a reality. I am pleased to add, for a fourth year in a row, our practice-oriented graduate program, it is an online engineering graduate program. This has been listed among the top 50 in the nation by the U.S. News and World Report. I am confident that our new initiatives will further enhance our reputation. Let me now focus your attention on the 60s, a significant time for the college as UT transitioned to become a state university. Students enrolled in the doctoral program in engineering for the first time in September 1967, only 2 months after the university had become a state university. The college also pioneered an on-site master's program at NASA Plumbrook and later added doctoral degrees, moving the program to Cleveland at what is now the Glenn Research Center. We were proud to recognize a 2-time graduate of this program during our recent homecoming gala, Dr. Ricky Shine.
6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff at dawn, the dawn of Orion and a new era of American space exploration.
Built to take humans farther than they've ever gone before, Orion's success as NASA's new exploration spacecraft is tied largely to the University of Toledo graduate Dr. Ricky Shine. The College of Engineering's Distinguished Alumnus in 2015 and the federal government's Engineer of the Year last year, Ricky leads and manages research and development competencies in propulsion, communications, power, materials, and structures for extreme environments at NASA's John Glenn Research Center in Cleveland. Here's what that means. Ricky is in charge of 1,100 scientists, engineers, and administrative staff who work on Orion, the replacement vehicle for the space shuttle that will carry our astronauts to space, provide emergency abort capability, sustain the crew during space travel, and provide safe re-entry from deep space return velocities. In other words, when we explore Mars in the not-so-distant future, it will be in large part because of the efforts of Ricky and his team. Making history every day and taking the University of Toledo to places that's never been before, Dr. Ricky Shine is the College of Engineering's Distinguished Alumnus for 2015.
I want to add that Ricky is the second alum from that program. Dr. William Gerstenmaier, Mr. William Gerstenmaier was recognized a few years ago. He was in charge of the entire space shuttle program as well as continues to be in charge of the human exploration of space. So we are proud to call them as our alumni. Now, each of our departments was able to honor an outstanding alum in a special ceremony in the college last spring. We are proud to add this outstanding alumni to our Alumni Hall of Fame. I know a couple of them are in attendance today, so congratulations. The 1980s were the beginning of my personal association with UT. I recall meeting Dr. Stephen Kramer in the fall of 1985 at a conference in Kansas City when he spoke to me about joining the faculty of the University of Toledo. Little did I know that 3 decades later, I would have the privilege of presenting to you this State of the College address. Dean Les Lottie hired me in 1986. This was a period of considerable growth in our college. The Engineering Technology program, which was started during Dean Lottie's tenure, is today the largest academic department at the University of Toledo, with more than 1,150 majors in that one department. Faculty success and externally funded research activity has also increased from $250,000 in the early 80s to the last year's annual research expenditures of about $11 million, with only 61 research active faculty in the college. Considering their overall responsibilities, our faculty's annual research productivity of $180,000 per faculty member is impressive. However, we have an aspirational goal of $300,000 per faculty member to further our national prominence. As a comprehensive College of Engineering, our faculty continue to pursue a broad portfolio of research projects. But we also believe our aspirational goal in funded research requires a strategic focus on select areas. To this end, the college has identified 4 research focus areas. The research is both global and interdisciplinary. Let me share just a couple of examples. We are proud to report that Dr. Mohsen Jamali, Professor of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, was named a Fulbright Scholar last year. Dr. Jamali pursued his research in Finland last spring in the area of aerial tracking. He has been invited to share his research at several international universities. It is our hope that many other of our students and faculty will follow his example in earning such prestigious awards. The college is pleased to build on the success of the Nurtures program, an interdisciplinary project involving faculty from the College of Engineering, as well as the Colleges of Education, Natural Science and Mathematics, and Health Sciences. The goal of this project is to improve the quality of science and engineering education in preschool through 3rd grade classrooms in Toledo public schools and other area schools. I'm delighted to add that Dr. Charlene Zerniak, the principal investigator of this program, she is shown here, has now joined the ranks of the research faculty in our college. The grants are interinstitutional as well. Dr. Vijay Goel's research project on ACL injuries has been awarded a 5-year National Institutes of Health grant, and the project is in collaboration with Ohio State University. The University of Toledo and the University of California at San Francisco have joined forces for a National Science Foundation Industry University Center entitled Center for Disruptive Musculoskeletal Innovation. Drs. Goel and Agarwal are the driving forces behind UT's team on this highly competitive and prestigious center. And our faculty's efforts don't stop within the walls of their research laboratories. They are equally active in technology commercialization. In partnership with Dr. Baduri, Drs. Goel and Agarwal also launched 2 new companies earlier this year. Let me now present another recent commercialization effort led by Dr. Mohamed Elahini of Mechanical Engineering, jointly with Dr. Christopher Cooper, Dean of the College of Medicine and Life Sciences.
Working with Dr. Christopher Cooper, chairman of the UT Medical Center's Department of Medicine, UT professor Dr. Mohamed Elahania has developed a new device to remove blood clots from the body before they cause stroke or other danger.
Blood would naturally clot, and it's a mechanism that is very necessary to stop bleeding. But in certain cases, clot would form inside arteries or inside veins, and this could lead to stop of flow to vital organs. Now, the benefit we're trying to achieve here over existing devices is to minimize problems that would occur after removal of the clot. In many cases, there are devices that can successfully retrieve the clot, but they would leave behind small clots that they travel downstream and cause problems later on. So our device seeks to minimize that. So it gets rid of the clot that currently exists with not causing extra clot formation down the roads. And have tested this prototype versus commercially existing devices and have shown that our device performs better in capturing the clot and not creating smaller blood clots.
The examples you saw are just a few among many commercialization efforts by our faculty, staff, and students. The college is a major contributor to our university's technology commercialization successes. 42 innovations have been licensed so far. The new Nitschke Technology Commercialization Complex is a key element in accelerating our efforts in this important arena. As you will agree, our faculty have been productive on all fronts, be it in teaching, research, technology transfer, or commercialization. During the last 10 years, our college has delivered more with less. I believe this slide summarizes our faculty's productivity well. And as a result, our college is leading the state in an important metric, which is the number of new engineering graduates per faculty. As you can see, this is true for both the engineering sciences and the engineering technologies. I hope you will agree that our faculty and staff have been good stewards of the university's resources. In making our, there you go. In making our students successful, the college truly embodies UT's motto, guiding the present and molding the future. Another way the college is helping to mold the future is by attracting new talent among our faculty ranks. For instance, Dr. Matthew Liberatore joined our chemical engineering department this semester. He comes to us from Colorado School of Mines, where he already had an established research program. Dr. Liberatore is an expert in the flow characteristics of polymers and has already been awarded a new research grant since his arrival at UT. Dr. Liberatore is joining us along with 12 other new faculty members this calendar year. We are pleased to welcome this diverse and talented group of colleagues across all of our departments. Their presence and contributions will certainly strengthen our instructional, research, and outreach missions. And diversity in our faculty and student body will continue to be one of our top priorities. Diversity is important to this college, our university, and the engineering profession at large. And we are making progress. For instance, in 1972, there were only 16 women enrolled in the college. Today, the college is home to 563 women in our student body, with bioengineering having the largest representation at over 40%. In partnership with BP, the college is initiating a pipeline program to encourage minority students to actively consider engineering. Attracting women and minorities to the profession of engineering continues to be a top priority in this college. Pictured here are 10 of our most accomplished graduates who have been recognized as distinguished alumni during the past 2 decades. As you can see, one of them is Ms. Lori Adams, president of our engineering alumni affiliate. The late 70s brought a new major to the college with the introduction of the computer science and engineering degree. We were among the first in the nation to be dually accredited by both the engineering and computing accreditation commissions of ABET. Professor Don Ewing, shown in the vintage photo in the middle, was the architect of the program and also served as the founding chair of the new department. I'm delighted that he is with us today. Dr. Ewing, thank you for your continued guidance and support. The computer science and engineering major was one of a select few in the nation at that time in combining hardware and software skills in computing within a single major. Today, we not only have a strong program in Toledo, we have a special partnership with the Lorain County Community College where we offer this degree on site. I want to thank President Roy Church and the Partnership Program Director, Dr. John Crooks, for their friendship and leadership in making this program a flagship program at Lorain. Dr. John Crooks has driven all the way from Cleveland to be with us today. John, thank you. Creating such unique opportunities for our students is in the basic ethos of this college. Our renowned mandatory co-op program is another unique opportunity available to our students. And this program experienced a significant growth during the first decade of the 21st century. As one of only 8 such engineering programs in the nation, our co-op program has flourished over the last 15 years. We placed nearly 1,400 students just in calendar year 2014 alone in professional employment opportunities across the country and around the world. The growth of our co-op program has been remarkable, tracking the increases in our enrollment. The fully integrated co-op program is a strong driver of our sustained enrollment growth, providing an attractive recruiting tool and fostering greater retention. The cooperative work experience not only provides an excellent avenue for professional development for our students, it also helps with the economics, both for the student and for the region. Co-op experience gives our students the possibility of a high-value education with no debt due to their educational expenses. We did a calculation in terms of expenses for tuition fees and books that an engineering student typically incurs and accounted for average scholarship dollars and co-op salaries they earn. You can see from the green line, with appropriate planning, every student has the opportunity to meet their educational expenses in full. So when you factor in student, parent, or employer perspectives, the co-op program is truly a win-win-win proposition. The mandatory co-op program is only one element of the UT engineering ecosystem. We are proud of the other elements we make available to our students. Let me share a few recent examples. Mr. Norman Nitschke and his family, along with Dr. Tom and Betsy Brady, have provided us generous support in creating an entrepreneurial culture among our students. During the last 2 years, we have experienced impressive results in the incorporation of a new freshman design program into the curriculum. Teams of freshmen presented their designs and business plans to a group of entrepreneurs in Shark Tank format as part of the freshman angel pitch competition in the college under the guidance of Scott McIntyre. The competition was a great experience for all involved. Thanks to the support of Provost Barrett, we are now expanding this program university-wide, and we anticipate new and exciting outcomes across our university. These efforts have now spawned additional opportunities for our students. With support from the National Science Foundation, under the leadership of Mr. Bill McCrary, CTO and CIO of UT, our students have access to a makerspace in the engineering complex in the Nitschke Technology Commercialization Complex. The Launchpad Incubation Maker Lab is a community workshop, giving students access to tools, resources, and space to build innovative projects. Students of all majors across the university have access to emerging digital manufacturing technologies such as 3D printers, laser cutters, and CNC machines, as well as training programs on how to use them. It is free to the students. Students are able to get true hands-on experience, collaborate side by side with students of different disciplines, and bring their creative ideas to life. Because of our demonstrated commitment to a culture of entrepreneurship, our college was invited to be among the signatories of a letter to President Obama as part of the White House Maker Fair last year. Let me now address another important element of our ecosystem. When you see our college mission statement, our college mission calls for nurturing the engineering leaders of tomorrow. Members of the Roy and Marsha Arms Engineering Leadership Institute continue to expand their horizons with new opportunities. Select student members attended the second Global Grand Challenges Summit in Beijing, China in early September. They also had a unique opportunity to meet with key world leaders in innovation. And one of the aspirational goals of ELI members is to create a Grand Challenge Scholars Program at UT. At this time, there are only 22 such programs in the entire nation. And our ecosystem promotes leadership in many ways. Let me now introduce one of our students, Cody Spoon, who is the current student body president of the University of Toledo.
When I became a student at the University of Toledo, I didn't think in 100 years that I would be the president of student government. I was the president of my high school, but I liked the experience, but it was just something that I didn't think I would ever have to do in the collegiate atmosphere. When I was a freshman, there was a sophomore student. His name is Michael Peacock, and he was a bioengineering student like myself at the time. And I was immediately just impressed because I just assumed that a lot of student government was up to political science majors or just basically people who were, this is what there was their primary focus in life. They wanted to get involved in either politics or just representation. So when I heard him speak in a Senate meeting, I just, the whole time I was like, wow, like I really hope I can sound like that when I become like a sophomore or involved in student government for this long. And I was just kind of just impressed in the way he carried himself, and even in debate or just talking to friends. And then I very soon realized that he was an engineering major, and that I realized that there's a lot of engineering majors here that are great personalities and really great leaders along the way. So to be here today is it's a really great testament to my confidence. It allows me to set a lot of high goals for my future that I'm not afraid to put myself out there and try to achieve.
I hope you agree that Cody has been a wise consumer of the student ecosystem that we provide through our programs. Now, our generous benefactors have allowed us not only to enhance our programs, but also the facilities as the needs of engineering education have swelled over time. The college has been able to grow in part due to the foresight and confidence of these benefactors. Let's look back at 1955 as an example of timely philanthropy that spurred greater accomplishments. By the early 50s, the college had outgrown its facilities in University Hall and Memorial Fieldhouse. It was in need of more modern laboratories to accommodate growth. Dean Ed Harrison and President Asa Knowles sought corporate support to supplement the city's investment and make possible the construction of the old engineering science building. Mr. Charles A. Dana and others stepped forward to donate over $1 million to make the building possible. The original plan was to face the building toward Bancroft Street, but President Knowles insisted that it be turned to face the west, an area filled with post-war barracks. His vision for the future included a central campus mall, and he wanted the engineering science building to hold a prominent place in that vision. 60 years later, we are again at a point of high growth in enrollment, programs, research, and stature. As a result, we are engaging a new generation of forward-thinking friends to facilitate that growth. And the Dana legacy continues in this college. I am pleased to share with you that we will be honoring Dana Corporation's generous support by naming the new conference room in the Engineering Career Development Center on November 19th. And Dana joins SSOE as a leadership level member in our Corporate Partners Program. And the objective of the Corporate Partners Program is to create an avenue for our college to have a dialogue at the senior executive level to identify win-win linkages between corporations, our students and graduates, faculty, and programs. It is a venue to redefine engineering education that supports strategic corporate needs such as technical preparation, diversity, communication skills, project management, and leadership. In this age of crowdfunding, this program is allowing us to bring together multiple industry stakeholders in support of our students and their preparation for professional practice. In turn, this will allow our corporate partners to get the best return on their investment. It is our aspiration that every one of our industry stakeholders will see this college as a premier source of distinctive professionals. We are honored to enjoy the support and engagement of senior executives of these corporations on a personal level as well. We are proud to have the names of Craig and Kathy Bowie on the newly dedicated student lounge in Nitschke Hall. Craig is a senior executive at SSOE Group and is a distinguished alumnus of our college. Here is another example. Thanks to the ongoing support and engagement of Betsy and Tom Brady, our students were able to participate in a unique creative project at the intersection of engineering and the arts. If you have not seen it, I invite you to enjoy the Engineering Connections mural outside of this auditorium along the hallway connecting Nitschke Hall and the Brady Engineering Innovation Center. The mural is 158 feet long and 10 feet tall. The project was a joint effort with the College of Communication and the Arts and the Toledo School for the Arts. I want to thank Dean Deb Davis, Chair Barb Miner, and Professor Arturo Rodriguez for their enthusiastic engagement and partnership. And these types of learning opportunities are possible because of the philanthropic support of our alumni, friends, and benefactors. As a college, we have set an ambitious fundraising goal of $40 million, which focuses on investments in people, programs, and projects. We are off to a good start and welcome those who share our excitement about the future to invest in that future. We want our students to know and believe that the future starts here. Which brings me to the current home of the College of Engineering, Nitschke Hall, now in its 20th year. After several years of planning and the acquisition of the Owens, Illinois Technical Center to the southeast of main campus, in the summer of 1995, the college was able to move into renovated North Engineering and South Engineering buildings and the newly constructed centerpiece, Nitschke Hall. The new complex featured numerous state-of-the-art computer labs open around the clock for the first time at UT, student activity spaces, redesigned laboratories, a tiered seminar room, and additional space for future renovation and expansion. Professor Emeritus Ernest Weaver chaired the design committee. I'm delighted he is with us today. Let's hear in his own words about the success of the planning and construction.
Now, the reason we're over here is because President McComas said, this is where the engineering is going to be. And the argument was that this is not adequate. We can't fit the engineering building into what is the OI complex. Mm-hmm. And so it was decided then that the only way to do it is to get a building. And of course, the building is designed on the basis of what the departments wanted. So as you worked out what we needed for mechanical engineering and chemical and so on, then the architects with that package of demands or needs, they would then put it together. And so that's where the architect comes in, is to put all those jigsaws, puzzle pieces together and come up with a functional space. But the whole idea of any architect is, for instance, if the building is satisfactory within the first 5 years, then the architect has been successful. If it's still satisfactory within 10 years, then the specifiers are correct. You see, the architect can only visualize the current needs. It's the faculty or whoever's involved in building the building in the first place, if they have the foresight to think of what they're eventually going to want, then the building is successful after 10 years. So here we are, is the building successful? Well, the architects did their job, and we did ours by saying what we wanted.
Dean Weaver, I agree with you that the people of this college have done their part and are continuing to do their part. During the design phase, Professor Weaver had stated his intention that the main hallway be big enough to allow cars to be driven in for display. And as you can clearly see, Dean Weaver's plan does accommodate vehicular traffic. The building, originally referred to as East Engineering, was formally dedicated as Nitschke Hall in a special ceremony on October 26, 1995. Honorable Joanne Davidson, Speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives, gave the keynote address. With the generous support of Mr. Norman Nitschke and his family, the Lewis and Norman Nitschke Auditorium with its 1,000 seats became a reality in 1998. We were pleased to add the Nitschke Technology Commercialization Complex in 2010. Once again, the generosity of the Nitschke family allowed us to raise the needed match for the federal grant. As I mentioned at the beginning of our talk today, we have a thriving engineering complex which bustles with people, programs, and projects. Again, a thematic continuum of education, research, and commercialization. We are celebrating 20 years of success in this complex today. So I asked Mr. Nitschke, what should the college be doing in the next 20 years? Let's hear Mr. Nitschke's response.
I would say mostly do what you're doing. I see a lot of forward thinking. What you've done with the freshman design thing is to get the students involved in their very first year of thinking ahead of what they would like to do when they graduate with their knowledge. You have some outstanding alumni. Well, I think you have done a lot of work to constantly improve the college, like getting the land that gave us the place to put the commercialization building, your plan for making a constant path from North Engineering up to eventually Dorr Street, and beautification of the sites, the maker space that we have in 2 buildings, and what you're planning to do and are doing in this lower floors of North Engineering. We find that the graduates from this school have been ranked comparable or even better than large ones. When you're getting the news, you're getting ranked and reported, there's nothing you can apologize for. It's getting more and more recognition, and you know where your alumni are. They're all around the world. Well, I expect it to be one of the outstanding colleges of engineering in this country.
Thank you, Mr. Nitschke, for those very affirming words. And we certainly have aspirations for the future as to how this complex will evolve. And as we march forward from our current vantage point, we are pleased to welcome the leadership of President Sharon Gaber. As she leads our university's new strategic planning efforts, I am confident our aspirational plans to be a world-class college of engineering will help propel the institution to a higher orbit. As we conclude, whether we refer to quantity or quality, student experiences, their retention and placement, opportunities for innovation and commercialization, or their learning environment, I hope you will agree with me, even in these challenging times, our College of Engineering is delivering results. I look forward to hosting you often in our college so that you can personally witness and participate in many more positive changes underway as part of our firm commitment to be a world-class College of Engineering. At this time, we would like to show our appreciation to two special people who were instrumental in shaping Nitschke Hall and the engineering complex. On behalf of all those that love our college, our student leaders would now like to present commemorative gifts to Mr. Norman Nitschke and Professor Ernest Weaver. Please join me in thanking them for their very special contribution. Please be seated. This concludes my presentation. Please join us in a reception in honor of this occasion in the main concourse of Nitschke Hall. Thank you all for being here today. Enjoy the reception. Good evening.